afternoon, everyone, and welcome in to the campus of Joseph Case High School. JJ Sylvia along with Tyler Clark for Swansea Community Network. And Tyler, a momentous occasion today here at Joseph Case as the field hockey squad honors their seniors here on a rescheduled senior day.
Yeah, momentous occasion for two reasons, JJ. One, it is senior night, and we're honoring these very successful seniors. And two, anyone who's watching and listening to this live, this is the first ever live broadcast of a field hockey game in the history of Case High School. So we are here for history today at Swansea Community Network. We've never been able to do outdoor games live before. I already warned the crowd ahead of time that this was going live. But this is pretty exciting, not only for senior night, but also for the prospect of this going live. There is going to be a ceremony which is going to happen in just a few minutes that JJ and I will take a back seat from and let the ceremony happen out there for our three seniors here, the field hockey squad. And then we'll continue on with the game, which is supposed to start at about 3:45 is when the opening whistle is supposed to sound. But pretty nice day, JJ, and we're ready to go here.
Yes, indeed, Tyler. Low 60s. Sun's out in full force. A couple of clouds off to our left here, but mostly a clear afternoon as we honor Emma Bouchard, Janaea Porras, and Emma Plant. Three members of the squad who are oh so essential to the 6-8-2 record that the Case Cardinals have coming in. And they're welcoming in today, Tyler, a team in the New Bedford Whalers with a 3-10-3 record. So on paper, fairly even in terms of records, both under 500, but still fighting for potential spots in the upcoming MIAA state tournament in their respective divisions.
So the MIAA state tournament is a little lenient, I find, with teams that enter in. Even if you have a not great record, they will let you in as a pretty low seed and let you continue playing. But you're right, I'm not sure about New Bedford because they're D1. I'm not sure how they would line up, but Case is probably looking, especially if they win this today with a 7-8-2 record, just under 500. I think we'd be seeing them as a low tournament seed. You can kind of think of this as a tune-up game, and it's not the last game of the year. Case does have a makeup game tomorrow against Sutton High School. The game, JJ, that we were actually supposed to broadcast a few weeks ago, but the field was completely unplayable because of horrible rain the day before.
Oh yes, so I do.
Case could possibly end up with an even 8-8-2 record if they can win these final two games of the year, and they. I would say this one certainly is winnable. We've broadcast here. I believe this is our. JJ, this is our third game I think we've done together. I think we've done 4 in total.
Yes.
Here at Case, and we saw a pretty strong performance in the last two, and the only loss that the Cardinals have was against a very, very talented and strong Somerset Berkeley team, which they ended up, if you remember that game, the score I think was 6-1, but they played that team pretty competitively in some of those quarters in that game and really put up a fight.
Yeah, Somerset Berkeley is one of those programs, much like the team that I had the solo call on when Case played against West Bridgewater. Two programs that are just very formidable. They have long-term coaches who have been there for a long time, and it just posed big challenges for a Case team that despite having these three very formidable seniors, they're fairly young in terms of other players on their roster. And, they, like you said, they stood their ground, they played strong games, gave a good effort, and kept the games close for as long as they could. And I think that's going to be kind of the method that they want to use today against New Bedford. New Bedford, another team that has a good amount of players who are either juniors or seniors. I believe there's only 1, 2, 3 on their roster that are underclasswomen. So definitely a more experienced and veteran squad on the New Bedford side wearing their road whites today with the red trim, but Case is going to have to put up as good of a fight as they have all season long. As we're talking about, they're on a quest to qualify for the state tourney, so wins need to be essential the rest of the way.
And a very hot start to the year. I believe they started off 3 or 4-0. I don't recall. I did the first game of the year with Kerry, and I think they were coming out of the 3-game winning streak, and then kind of straightened out in the middle of the year, and they've been doing a bit better lately to get to that 6-win threshold. Now, you were here the last game that Swansea Community Network did. I believe they lost that game to West Bridgewater. Is that correct?
That is correct.
2-1 final. So, if you've been following us with Case Field Hockey this year, this should be the 5th game. So, this could be the tiebreaker here. They won the first 2 that we did. And I believe they dropped the next 2 following. So, let's hope that they can get them. Especially on senior night, you want to see them out going strong. Really couldn't ask for more opportune weather. Low 60s, sunny, Right, 1 week until Halloween. And I know that there are some parents that are here for the ceremony. We're just waiting. I believe they were still waiting on Emma Bouchard's parents to come before they got that started. They have the balloons out there, so we are ready to go for that part of the ceremony.
A ceremony that, as Tyler mentioned, we will take a step aside for to allow the ceremonies to commence and take place, but after we return from that, we'll have some great field hockey action here between the Whalers and Cardinals this afternoon. And Tyler, we talked about experienced coaches, or more so I mentioned it when we were talking about the last few opponents for Case here at home. Another one today for New Bedford, and Coach Resendiz, who she's been around for a while. She's an assistant principal over at New Bedford High School, one of those pillars of the community, just posing another challenge for Casey Martell, who is still in the younger years of her coaching career here at Case.
You see a lot in terms of field hockey. I feel like this is not the first time this year where you said, "Oh, she's been the coach for decades. She's been the coach there forever. She's got quite a foundation going there." If you can establish yourself as a solid high school coach around here, you're probably not going to go anywhere unless it's a willingly leaving the program. People just walking around everywhere right now. No, these people have been Southeastern Mass field hockey, have been part of their programs for a very long time. You can see Casey Martell's out there with pregame warm-ups for the Cardinals still. She was over here actually giving you information, I believe, on the starting lineup. Is that correct before?
Yeah, that is true. We'll go through the starters right now while we have a chance before the pregame festivities begin. For the Case Cardinals at the forward position, it will be Emma Cookson, Emma Bouchard, and Iris Carrero. And then in the midfield, Izzy Carvara, Mara Richardson, and Janaea Porras sliding back from her usual spot on the front line to the midfield today. And then on the back line, it will be Maddie Duquette, Emma Plant, Sophie Duclos, and Avery Plant with Kaisley Nell in between the pipes as the goalkeeper this afternoon. And then for the visiting New Bedford Whalers, coming in with a 3-10-3 record, it will be Lana Jones, Tesla DaCosta, and Jackie Bank up front as the forwards, with Olivia Pereira, Audrey Souza, and Piper Reese in the midfield. And then on the back end, Abby Splisser as the sweeper, Yuritsa Bellin, Peyton Souza, and Mariah Jackson as the defenders on the back line, with Trinity Rosanina in between the pipes for the Whalers. Both teams getting through their warm-ups right now.
Yeah, we're live a little bit earlier than usual here, just because I just said it's live. We've never done this before. I'm curious, if I check on my handy little phone, how many people are actually watching this live right now, because you can text. Check.
Oh, because we're live on YouTube, too, not just on Channel 9.
No, we're live on YouTube.
Yeah, we're live.
And I could hear myself right now when I said that. I have four people watching right now. Hopefully that should increase as this game starts, because this is a little bit early right now.
No, most certainly. But for those of you who are already tuning in, we're so happy you're here to join us here on Swansea Community Network.
Groundbreaking day at Swansea Community Network, JJ.
Yes, we shall we call ourselves groundbreakers?
Groundbreakers, that's us. We've done games live before. We used to do basketball live. There's a charity basketball game where the alumni basketball game. We've done that live before, but we have a van now full of fancy equipment that we can use to do things like this now. So that's what's exciting.
Oh, most certainly. I've done a lot of work for a lot of networks over the last, 7 or 8 years that I've been doing broadcasting, and it's great to see even the small-town networks now like Swansea, not to give any detriment, but to have this type of high-tech equipment is a great thing,
What's the most important game you think you've broadcast, like in terms of hierarchy?
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
There you go. I know you've done college games. So
yeah, I would have to say there's a couple of games that I would put as like my 1A and 1B. I'd probably say the most important one I've done, I just recently had the chance to call UMass Dartmouth football when they got their first conference win of the season against Massachusetts Maritime. That was definitely my 1A or 1B, and then the other one has to be the CCC championship for Endicott College field hockey back when I was a student there, and they had a big win late in the game against the University of New England, and I was able to get on the field after. I got a T-shirt when I was celebrating with the players, got to hold the trophy, a nice picture taken of me as well. That's part of, the headshots in my portfolio and stuff like that. So I'd say those are, my top two, but I'd be interested to hear yours because I know you've had a pretty illustrious career yourself in the booth.
Well, I've mostly stuck with Case High for things. So the hierarchy of mine, I thought last year when Case made it to the state championship, that doing the state championship for D4 softball would be like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And then they made it again this past year. So I've been able to be on the mic. I alternated with Birdie. We did color and play-by-play. We both did it. So the last 2 years for the state championship. However, I would say last year was the most special one to me because it was the first time I've ever done a state championship, and it was also perfectly pristine weather at UMass Amherst. Gorgeous field. This past one, it was raining and miserably cold the entire game, at least the beginning of it. They played the same team again, and they happened to win. So I would say that would be my most important one. But I think, JJ, we're going to take a brief pause from our discussion right now as it looks like the ceremony is about to begin.
Yeah, that will be the case. So Tyler Clark and I will be right back as we put it onto the field for the pregame Senior Day festivities here on Swansea Community Network.
These, okay? Don't trip over the phone. Hi, Kat.
Did I say Facebook? I think I said Facebook.
Check 1, 2.
Thank you. I'm trying to envision it. You might take better pictures.
Good evening, and welcome to Judge Aguilar Field on campus of Joseph Case High School for today's matchup between Whalers from Bedford and your Joseph Case High School Cardinals. Today we honor seniors from both teams. First, from New Bedford, Jackie Bank, Piper Reese, Teresa Bella, Lana Jones, Audrey Souza, and Abigail Spruce. And now we'd like to honor our three seniors. First, Janaea Porras, accompanied by her mother, Rebecca Porras. Janaea is a 4-year captain. Janaea is an integral part of our offense. She's a 1,000 effort every practice and game. She's also been a great leader on the field. She's always willing to help and never says anything asked of her. So this season, she has 4 goals and 7 assists, and she'll be truly missed. Next is Emma Bouchard, accompanied by Anna and Jim Bouchard. Emma is a 6-year player. She's a quiet leader, a quiet and fearless leader and a role model. She is fast and has great skills. She is the offensive playmaker who helps with the big plays in the midfield and for us to get on offense on track. Emma will be a major contributor to this team for the last 6 years. She has 6 goals and 7 assists in the season and will be truly missed. And last, Emma Plant, with parents Roger and Kelly, and brother Danny and Drew. Emma is an outspoken leader. She has great ideas and gives great advice on the field. She is a defensive playmaker who holds down our D in every game. Although a defensive player, she has 1 goal and 2 assists so far this season, and will be such an integral part this season and of the last 6 years. She has great athleticism and skills and will truly be missed. Congratulations to these seniors. Thank you.
A wonderful senior day ceremony to once again honor Emma Bouchard, Janaea Porras, and Emma Plant Tyler. Definitely some emotions out there for all the families involved today.
Well, you heard, I don't know if you're paying attention to what some of them are saying, but some of these girls have been on the part of the field hockey program here since 7th grade. Because once you're in 7th grade, you can actually play on the JV team. Some schools you can actually play varsity when you're in 8th grade. So this has been their, September and October for the last 6 years, and probably part of August too, honestly. And all good things must come to an end. Everyone's high school career has to end eventually, and I just hope that we can go out and have a great final game here for all these girls, all these players. They've been working towards their entire careers here at Case High. And it was nice to see that the New Bedford team was recognized as well. And they had a lot. I think I counted about 6 seniors on the New Bedford side. And some of those have probably been playing since their freshman year as well. I'm not sure what New Bedford's policy is for playing since 7th grade.
But yeah, you are correct, Tyler. A lot of seniors on this New Bedford side, too. Jackie Bank, Piper Reese, Yuritsa Bellin, Lana Jones, Audrey Souza, Abigail Splisser, rounding out the seniors for the Whalers. So it's actually nice. I rarely see that with the senior day festivities, whether it's at the high school level or the collegiate level. Usually it sticks just to the home squad, but I think, it's a great showing of class by Joseph Case High School to, have the seniors for the Whalers involved as well, like you said. And it's going to make for some great competition today. Both these teams have something to play for, and it should be an excellent contest this afternoon. Once again, so glad you can all join us live for the first time in history, a field hockey game live here on Swansea Community Network. And
we'd have a few comments. At B. Mona says, "Hey, it's JJ. Great job."
I think that might be Brian Moniz, one of the great employees at Somerset Access TV, who I've had the pleasure of working with for the last couple of years. Him and I have done quite a few hockey games, football games, baseball games together, and I'll tell you, for somebody who has to do as much work as Brian does, the amount of driving and sacrifice that he makes just to get 2 games and get the equipment there, get it set up, get it broken down. I can't be more grateful for him. I know I'm on Swansea Community Network today, but shout out Brian Moniz, because I believe that is him watching and commenting there.
Shout out who you want. We have another comment from Steve Sprisler. Go Whalers. Abby number 26 going for the New Bedford side.
Yeah, Abby Sprisler, the sweeper today for the Whalers, according to Coach Resendiz, and that's a very important position, so I'm glad to see the support for her.
We got some Whaler fans tuning into our live broadcast.
Hey, we love that. We love that.
Anyone can entitled to watch on YouTube. That's what makes it exciting. Usually we don't get to see all this stuff going on before the game starts. We usually, start recording right around now, right before it starts, but because of this live feed, we got seeing a lot more things going on out here. As I said before, it is not the last home game of the year for the Cardinals. They do play a makeup game against Sutton High School tomorrow, but we were unable to broadcast that here with Swansea Community Network. But we were able to do this game, which is senior night, which is good. We usually like to do the senior day or senior night game, usually to show the ceremony as well, but sometimes the schedule doesn't always line up for that.
Hey, but it lined up today, and
we're here.
Yeah, now the hope is, I'm sure, for Casey Martell's squad just to get a win for these seniors here on, pretty much their day, to put it in quotes. And this is obviously not going to be an easy task. New Bedford, a Division I school, as you were mentioning earlier, so they've had tough competition all year long, so they're battle-tested and ready to go.
They're 3-10-3, but that's with a D1 schedule. I can actually do this right now as we get ready to start. I can look up some of the schools to give you an idea.
I'm assuming because they're in the Big Three conference that they've played at least Durfee and Brockton, probably twice each.
Probably twice each, I would say.
And as we talked about in games past, Durfee, a powerhouse in field hockey. They send, tons of student athletes to various colleges for athletics. And
well, actually, you'd be surprised. It's Bridgewater, Rainham, Old Rochester, Westport, Brockton High, Durfee, Bishop Stang, Dartmouth, Taunton High School, Westport, Dartmouth, Brockton. They did play Case earlier in the year. I don't know the outcome of that match. Old Rochester, Durfee, Bishop Stang, Taunton, and now Case. So, and I'm looking at some of these scores, 3-1, 1-0, 2-1. So they're hanging in these games, the ones that have been posted at least. I find that Max Preps isn't totally up to date for field hockey, at least not this year. But that was interesting when we did the Somerset-Berkeley game. They played Watertown High School. That was such a random school to play, and they broke the winning streak. You said when Somerset-Berkeley played them was a 100-game winning streak or something for Watertown?
Yeah, I believe it was like 106, 108 that they snapped for Watertown, and I actually have a cousin, as I've mentioned before, who goes to Somerset-Berkeley High School, and what he told me is I believe his words were that Jen Crook just likes to have that strength of schedule boost when it comes to the state tournament, so I think that had something to do with why Somerset was playing Watertown, because obviously Watertown, with that win streak, one of the formidable programs in the Metro Boston area, so if you can beat a team like that, that really adds to, your street cred, in quotes, for the state tournament.
Is it up to the athletic director to schedule the non-conference games?
I believe so. I believe the athletic directors get together and kind of talk about it.
Your core, you have your, Case will play, Bourne, Seekonk, DAR, that's non-negotiable every year, but in terms of these New Bedford is the out-of-conference technically.
Yes,
but
for sure.
If it's in the region, Sutton is way out of conference, but that's...
definitely.
Yeah.
But we're about to get started with first strike at midfield. Looks like Case will get ball first. Mara Richardson is at midfield, set to get us going.
We're a little delayed with a start here.
Nothing wrong with that. Got to allow the senior festivities to go through. Obviously, that's the most important thing on a day like this. And 3:53 the time right now, and a gorgeous temperature, as Tyler and I were talking about before. I'll get the exact right now, 56 degrees, which for the end of October, we've been talking about it all fall. We can't ask for much better in New England with the temps that we've been having. There were some 70-degree days that we had earlier in the season, and now 56, but probably feels a little bit warmer because of the direct sunshine here. But
I'm not sure what... The Bedford goalie is finally onto the field, and then looks like the official is still discussing something with the coaches, Coach Resendiz and Coach Martell.
Probably just straightening out some formalities here before we get going. We will play 4 quarters today, running clock.
And we're finally underway. Here we go.
There we go. Richardson going back for Bouchard in case we'll get the first charge forward. Olivia Pereira trying to send it forward. Bouchard getting help from Richardson to keep it on the Case side of the field. Whistle to favor the Cardinals early, and now Janaea Porras on the restart. Porras had her pass toward the middle blocked by Yuritsa Bellin. Case still charging. Bouchard trying to use her speed will get the benefit of that call. And now it will be Emma Plant on the restart, one of the senior captains today. Plant sending it forward. Richardson trying to dig it out at the edge of the circle. Richardson for Bouchard. Gets a bounce to Porras, trying to send it backside. Nobody home in a maroon jersey.
It's like a
Mariah Jackson.
Whistle on the Cardinals.
Will be the one to restart it for the Whalers. She'll give way, actually, to Peyton Souza. Souza sending it up the far sideline for Jackie Bank. Now Bank on the move. She'll be shut down right at half field. Nice job there. That was Maddie Duquette. Tyler, for the Case Cardinals, I do believe, if I remember correctly, because we've talked about this before, they are Division 4 for field hockey?
I believe so. The division for, depending on the same school, can be in a different division for a different sport. I always have a hard time keeping track of it. I believe they were D4 in softball, so I would say that that's the same. New Bedford is definitely D1. They're D1 throughout because of how huge they are.
Oh yeah, in terms of the student pop, as somebody who works in the New Bedford Public Schools, I would be absolutely shocked if they weren't D1. And the first corner of the game belongs to the Whalers.
They call it the Big Three for a reason. New Bedford, Durfee, and Brockton. And those are three pretty big cities in southeastern Massachusetts, and they all feed one high school.
Jackie Bank will insert it. Tesla DaCosta, Peyton Souza, and others up top. That's a short insert to the near side. Now looking into the middle. DaCosta off a bounce, looking to feed it on. Now with the stop. Now we'll make a second stop, and Case will look to clear it.
That was a good look at the goal, too.
That whistle will favor the Cardinals as Emma Plant was digging for it, and it will be the first time that the Case Cardinals will shed the protective gear today. 0 for 1 go the Whalers after their first corner. It was actually Avery Plant who was digging for it. My apologies. Actually, I found out pregame from Drew Plant, the older brother of Emma Plant, that Avery actually has no relation to Emma.
No, they're not related at all.
I had been saying for most of the year that they were related, so I have to correct myself now, but...
Oh, I didn't even realize that you... No, they're not at all related. I thought they were cousins, but nope, no relation.
Yeah, no relation at all. Shout out to Drew Plant for letting me know about that.
I went to high school with the Plant in Swansea, too, but I don't know if they're... I doubt they're related. It's not really the most common name either, which is kind of what's surprising. Oh! Just to the left of the goal there.
Yeah, nice protection by Rosanina, who saw that it was going to go past the end line, so she tried to be a little bit defensive on that one. Nonetheless, it's back to Whaler possession. But I was talking to Drew about it, too. It's pretty common in both Somerset and Swansea. A lot of families with the same last name, but not necessarily related. I come from the Sylvia family in Somerset, and there's like 3 other Sylvia families, a couple Silvas. The Mellos are like that, too. There's like 3 Mello families.
Well, is Plant considered a Portuguese name?
I wouldn't necessarily say that it's Portuguese, but I wouldn't say it's an uncommon last name either.
Portuguese names everywhere around here. I was telling someone that the other day. Machado, Silva, Sylvia, Mello, the whole Aguiar. Costa, run the gambit. All these Azorian families that have settled out here.
There's a reason they call this area Little Portugal, Tyler.
Yeah. Souza with both spellings at the C, with the S and the Z. That's
Whalers.
Wind already blowing papers around. Whalers have a good look here, though.
Almost certainly, but the Cardinals will look like they're shutting it down for the moment. Bouchard trying to dig it out. Carvara in there as well, but pressuring is Jackie Bank. Bank met by Emma Plant. Really a back-and-forth game so far, but a lot of the possession time has been in New Bedford's offensive half.
Whalers have controlled it so far. They had at least one shot on goal of significant note. And
2 total shots thus far. And
whistle on the Whalers, though.
Indeed. Emma Plant on the restart. One of 3 seniors on this Cardinal squad. A bouncing ball makes it all the way even past Peyton Souza. Cardinals have numbers if they hurry, but that one hopping over the stick of Carvara might give the Whalers a chance to strike back in the other direction.
We did broadcast, you weren't here for this obviously, last year Case versus New Bedford was a 1-1 tie. So we did this, I remember this last year. I believe New Bedford played in red last year, though. I mean, I could be wrong. I can look that up instead of their whites. But we have seen New Bedford field hockey before. I don't remember much about the game other than it was a 1-1 tie. And it was earlier on in the year, too.
Restart just outside the circle here for Audrey Souza.
Speaking of Souza's.
Yeah, that's another
Almost
one of
on
the
cue.
common Portuguese names.
Especially in New Bedford.
New Bedford known for having the largest Portuguese festival during the summer, too. I tried to go there this past summer. You could not find parking, Tyler, within 6 miles of where that festival was.
That is a big-time festival. And if you can find parking, it's expensive, too. I went to it a couple years ago. I worked at a school in New Bedford for 3 years, so believe me, I taught lots of Portuguese last names while I was there.
Yeah, what school were you at?
Global Learning Charter.
Ah.
Yeah.
Good school from the things I've heard.
It's a good school. Not so much for the athletic part of things. They didn't really have sports programs, but in terms of academics, oh yes.
Yeah, that's usually the one pitfall with most of the charter schools is they don't necessarily have the economic capacity most of the time to have varsity sports. Most of the time it's usually club and intramural for the most part.
Varsity sports are expensive to run. This is a good move by Bouchard here.
Bouchard on the move has other Cardinals moving with her. Bouchard into the circle, looking to feed it back door, a chance, and the Whalers will shut it down. Oh, a near scare there.
That was a great look. Bouchard just took off like a rocket. Zing! There she goes. But Case still has another shot here.
Cardinals not done. Just outside the circle, Richardson will restart. Mara looking to feed the circle. Almost got help from Porras, but a whistle will slow that and give possession back to New Bedford.
Yeah, it looks like a kickball. We'll go to the Whalers. I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that we're still scoreless here halfway through the first quarter. Both teams have had excellent looks at that goal.
Almost certainly, but you have to credit the defense and the goalkeepers in that situation, especially Kaisley Nell, who made 2 big stops under duress early.
Oh, yeah.
Right after the first corner for the Whalers.
Keeping track of that very small ball amidst the chaos in front of the goal is a lot harder to do than you would think.
It makes it a little bit easier when the ball's orange.
No, it is. It's fair. It's not like it's small. Not like you're trying to keep track of a golf ball.
That's way harder. I will tell you that. I had the pleasure of attending some of my cousin Carter's golf matches this past season for Somerset Berkeley Golf, and once it goes off the tee or once it's struck by the club, you have no idea where it's going. I just try to look where the ball's supposed to go and hope it drops somewhere there.
Right.
Cardinals fighting feistily to try and gain circle, but the Whalers are just persistent and standing tall on their back line in midfield. They have not really allowed, other than that one instance, for the Cardinals to gain circle much today. And they've been getting some help, the Whalers have, from whistles as well.
It definitely has been more in the favor of the Whalers so far. I would agree with you there, but the Cardinals do have another decent opportunity and another whistle.
This one's going to be a corner, it looks like, for the Cardinals. So now these two squads even in the corner category at 1 apiece. Let's see if instead of what happened with the Whalers going scoreless on their first corner, if the Cardinals can grab the first tally.
Let's talk about corners for a second, because this is the 3rd game I've done with you here this year. This is the 4th one that you've seen. In all the games I've done with you, I think we've seen 1 goal off of a corner, and that was iffy. That wasn't the original hit. That was like the secondary hit, and if you even want to consider it that, which was generous.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Is the corner really then that much of an advantage for teams? And again, here, not really that much. I mean, they have the advantage, but we haven't seen it taken as much as you would expect it to be.
I would have to say that especially at the collegiate level, corners can really make or break a lot of games. Like I was calling a UMass Dartmouth field hockey game recently when they were playing Keene State, and the Keene State Owls out of New Hampshire, they live and die by corners. They score a lot of their goals that way. So it really depends on, the team and the school and the culture and how the coaches run, their play calling. That determines how effective corners can be. A first stop there for Rosanina.
We're talking about corners. There's a scrum in front of the net. Is another opportunity, and whistle, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like this one will favor the Whalers.
For the Bedford.
But we talked earlier, Tyler, about how a majority of the start of quarter one was played in the offensive half of the field of the Whalers. Now Case flipping the script, and we're seeing them dominate in terms of time of possession.
First half of the quarter was all New Bedford. Now this is all Case. The second part here, that was kicked out. That is a shot on goal, though.
Yeah, Rosanina getting it out of harm's way. It'll stay Cardinal possession. In a tightly contested defensive and goalkeeping battle thus far here at Joseph Case High School. Bouchard weaving through multiple Whalers, has a whistle help her out, and then another. Bouchard will get a little space on the restart. Emma battling against Audrey Souza, looking to feed Porras. Porras for Richardson, had her shot blocked. Looks like Peyton Souza was in there to get a stick on it.
Incredible stick movement from Bouchard there, too.
Lana Jones looking to advance out of her defensive half. That's shut down by Emma Plant and sent right back toward the circle. Richardson battling for it with Souza. Richardson sending it into the circle again. A chance.
Nope. That's 3 really good looks in a row, and nothing to show for it.
Under 90 seconds to play in quarter one. We are knotted at 0. Lana Jones unable to keep that one in bounds. It'll be brought back in. And a restart and send back in from out of bounds will be handled by Emma Plant. Plant trying to feed Mara Richardson. That whistle will favor the Whalers. Looked like it went off of Richardson's foot there.
I believe it did. 1 minute to go here in the first quarter, too.
Now off the foot of Plant. Whalers will get the help of a couple whistles to move forward. Lana Jones trying to get by her number partner and Sophie Duclos. Duclos will get help from Avery Plant. Shania Porras for Richardson. Richardson the feed for Iris Carrero. She's on the move. Carrero getting one of her few starts this season. Usually comes off the bench for Casey Martel, but today in the starting lineup. Probably attributed to Carrero's efforts over the last few contests. More favorable whistles for the Cardinals. Bouchard on the restart. Emma looking to weave again. No luck. Audrey Souza has been a stone wall in that midfield, not allowing much advancement towards the circle as quarter one comes to an end with a 0-0 game between your Case Cardinals and the New Bedford Whalers. And Tyler, it's really been all about the defense thus far.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have had looks at the goal. Both teams have had shots on goal. The goalies had to work. I would say that first half was all New Bedford, and the second half of the quarter was all Case. But defense came through. That's what you have those players down there for, is to keep that ball out of the goal. And I really thought at one of those, Case had 3 rapid-fire attempts at that goal, and not one of them went in. And I'm gonna expect a pretty low-scoring game in terms of that. You could say first goal wins, but well, we can see about that as the game goes on. But no, it's all defense there. That, as you said, the script completely flipped halfway through. I thought we were going to be looking to our left pretty much the whole first half, first quarter, and nope, we went to the right after that too.
They say that in most sports, defense wins championships, but in field hockey, a goalkeeper can really steal a lot of games for you, and both goalkeepers thus far have had to make saves, Kaisley Nell and Trinity Rosanina, on opposite sides, playing pivotal roles. Nell with a couple of big saves earlier in the quarter, and then Rosanina with a stop of her own at the end and a kick out as well. And notably, both squads had one corner in that first quarter. Both went 0 for 1.
Yeah, I mean, it was even. It was very even. It was evened out, near the end, but both teams had almost the same number of looks, same number of corners, and it's a pretty evenly matched game overall. And I have to say, I'm impressed with the number of New Bedford fans that we have here. There's a lot of New Bedford fans standing to my right and really to my left here as well. Not really that far to go. About a 20-minute drive.
It doesn't shock me at all, though, Tyler. As somebody who works in the district, they always travel well, whether it's for football, baseball, volleyball, whatever it might be. You always tend to see a lot of fans when there's a visiting game that they have to go play on the road. They usually come out in full force, and no different today with the field hockey squad.
There was one year, I don't know how many years ago it was, I think it was the same academic year. In the postseason, Case qualified for football and basketball. I don't know if it was the same year apart. And by random coincidence, in basketball they played Martha's Vineyard at home, and football they played Nantucket at home. And darn it, those fans showed up.
My goodness.
They took the boat ride over, and they came and they supported. The Vineyard actually packed the stands when they came. Oh yeah, it was lively, the game against the Vineyard Case had here.
Honestly, I'm not surprised, though, especially as somebody who spent a lot of time playing hockey games over there, both in youth hockey and for high school.
Yeah.
Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket, very tight-knit communities on those islands, so it doesn't really shock me at all that they travel well. Everybody really knows everybody.
No,
that's the thing.
That's fair, but that was kind of a strange coincidence that Case ended up playing them in two different sports and pretty close to each other too. Which that's what happens when you make the state tournament. Then you pretty much draw anyone in the state of Massachusetts you could be traveling to and playing.
Yeah, all bets are off at that point. About a minute and a half gone here in the second quarter as we pace toward halftime here in Swansea. Bouchard on the move with some nice stick handling, looking to feed Richardson. A whistle will pause it for the moment. But Case will keep possession. Bouchard, using her speed again, weaves through two, had her pocket picked by Jackie Bank. Bank looking to work on the far sideline. Emma Plant will say no miss to that. Plant back for Bouchard. Bouchard feeding Porras. Top of the circle. Porras looking to feed Richardson. Heavy stick battle. Sees it get pushed out of the circle. New Bedford looking to clear. Whalers have spent most of the last, I'd say, about 13 minutes of gameplay on their half of the field.
It's kind of amazing how it's really shifted from the start of this game. They barely even got the ball over midfield since halfway through the first quarter. I really wasn't expecting with how that started. Yeah, but they're going to have another opportunity here. And a game that is just flying by with no stoppages in play. They do stop the clock very briefly after a goal. I was going back and rewatching footage from another game we did a couple weeks ago. But unless there's a goal or an injury, we play right through. And so far there's been neither, so that's why it's taking exactly 15 minutes so far.
First time the Whalers' offenses broke half field here in quarter two. And the Cardinals are quick to dispel of that. Mara Richardson being chased down by Audrey Souza. Whistle will favor Audrey in that situation. Restart.
Richardson was confused about what that whistle was about.
Could have been a number of things, as we've talked about. It's always those little technicalities with the whistles.
Well, unlike basketball, where they keep track of the number of fouls and infractions you have, pretty much have as many as you want in field hockey. I know you can get yellow and red cards. I've never seen it personally happen, but I know it can happen.
Yeah, it's incredibly rare. Usually at the high school level, it has to be something really egregious.
Like a completely the takeout slide from the back, or you're swinging your stick with the intent to harm, or something to that effect.
I've seen it a few times this year doing collegiate field hockey games, though. I've seen, squads go up by a woman or down by a woman because of a specific penalty, but a lot less common at the high school.
A yellow card is just a warning, correct?
Yellow card is usually a shorter amount of penalty time, usually a couple of minutes, and then the red cards can be for, if I recall correctly, up to a quarter or sometimes even a half.
And then your team has to play down a player.
That is correct.
You can't have a substitute come in. Notorious in soccer, football, whatever you would call it worldwide. But again, I know they have it in field hockey. I've been doing field hockey games here for years. I don't think I've ever seen a yellow or red card pulled in a D4 field hockey game, but I know what happens. Stakes are a little higher in college too, as you know.
For sure. Janaea Porras looking to move forward for the Cardinals. Porras can't move any farther than in front of Yuritsa Bellin. Bellin now trying to get away from Porras here on the near side. Bellin trying to feed Lana Jones, but she was more concerned about keeping the ball away from her foot and avoiding a call. Cardinals keeping it consistently in their offensive half since about the midway point of quarter one. And now we're inching toward the midway point of quarter two, and the story is still the same, but no goals on the board. Moved into the middle, Jackie Bank. Bank trying to feed Tesla DaCosta, but the Cardinals will get it back. Plant sending it towards the circle. Moving in, a chance. That one kicked out by Rosanina.
That was a nice save.
That was Riley Doherty who had the chance. Bouchard back for Plant. Plant going far side this time. Cardinals passing it around, trying to spread out the New Bedford defense. And the whistles definitely helping them. Restart for Bouchard just outside the circle. Bouchard in a stick battle gets the benefit of a call on that one against Tesla DaCosta. Tyler, it seems like every time New Bedford in this quarter has tried to move it out of their defensive half, Case has just been right there on the ball carrier.
Just can't move it right now. It's really amazing because the beginning of the game, it was all down the left side of the field, and now all of a sudden Case is swarming deep again in front of the goal. Case has another chance, and again the New Bedford defense is right there.
Porras had her shot blocked there. She seemed a bit frustrated after that as well, because there's been a lot of chances in the circle for Case in the last almost a full quarter of time, but split between quarter one and quarter two. About halfway through.
Bet Whalers with a good look here now.
On the move is Tesla DaCosta, trying to evade Plant. Emma Plant having to deal with both DaCosta and Lana Jones, and the whistle will help Emma out in that cause. Plant up for Richardson. That one is off her foot. Pretty clear to see even from where we're sitting. Feet up for Jones is taken away by Plant.
Nice, Emma.
Emma sends it to midfield where it's knocked down by Bellin. Bellin to send it to the far side of the field. About 6 minutes and 40 seconds left before we take our halftime break. Still scoreless between these two South Coast squads from very different divisions. Jackie Bank showing off some good stick handling here. Yeah. Bank on the move by 1 and 2.
That is some impressive stick handling right there.
Bank trying to draw a corner, and she does exactly that as she puts it off the foot of Emma Plant. First corner of the second quarter for New Bedford, their second overall.
Yeah, the Go Whalers chance going on. Oh, that was an impressive drive. We kind of flipped here in the last few minutes. Now we're pretty much all down this end of the goal. Or this end of the field, excuse me.
Jackie Bank on the insert. See if it's another near feed. This time it goes up top. Peyton Souza looking to go back near side. Able to get the pass there. Now into the middle. Bank had it taken from her by Mara Richardson, and Richardson will clear it to the sideline to allow her squad to shed the protective gear. So 0 for 2 go the Whalers thus far on corners in this one. Bank moving it back in from out of bounds. Met quickly by Maddie Duquette. And now Duquette will do the honors on the restart. Duquette a hard slap off the stick of Bank. Another whistle in the Cardinals' favor. 5 minutes left in the first half. Emma Cookson on the move on the far sideline. As we're back in Case's offensive half, Cookson looking to feed it forward. Having a hard time getting past Peyton Souza. Souza will get the benefit of that whistle. A much more seesaw battle over the last few minutes between the Whalers and Cardinals here, as both teams look to break the ice in a scoreless tie. Heavy stick battle right in front of the New Bedford bench. Cookson looking to feed middle. Whalers will shut that down.
All I can hear from here is the clanging of the sticks together. The metal, just not, I guess clanging isn't the right word. The hitting of the sticks, just constantly. But yeah, still scoreless.
I wouldn't be shocked if what you said earlier rings true, Tyler, where it could end up being a 1-0 or 2-1 game where it's very low scoring, but goals are going to be at a premium and are going to be crucial for whoever gets them.
Or the other alternative I'm thinking of is that, classic 0-0 scoreless tie, which is, seen that before too.
Back we go to Case's offensive half with 3.5 left before we take half. A favorable Whaler whistle there. Seems like we're going to see Jackie Bank with the ball a lot today. She's been getting a lot of the feeds as the Whalers cross midfield. Bank gets another call to help her out. And she'll give way to her back line to restart it. And then right back to Bank. Looking to get it into the circle off the foot of Avery Plan and make it 3 corners on the day for the Whalers, 2 in the quarter.
Might have been, I'm not sure if it was Avery or Emma. It was one of the Plants was down there. But it's actually a pretty good strategy. Hit it off the foot, get the corner out of it. Whether that was by design or just worked out that way, but
that's something we commonly see. One of the main reasons that usually corners get called, defenders trying to hold down the fort, and it ends up bouncing off either their left or right foot. That one fed up top past the stick of Peyton Souza, the grass plaguing New Bedford, who's used to playing on the brand new turf that had been put together just outside of New Bedford High School. Case now looking to take advantage of the home bounces. Bouchard.
That's going to be an unsafe hit, I think.
Yeah, Bouchard looking to send that one forward, put it
a little high
off of Abby Splisser, whose dad I hope is still watching.
Sure.
Splisser helping out her team there. That could have been a 2-on-1 rush if it got past her. Now Porras
Can't tell
working near side. Janea looking to gain circle.
Just has the number of people
Quickly
who are
met by
watching.
Bellin. Bellin looking to get it out. Bouchard to send it back toward goal. That one getting towards Rosanina.
Jeez.
She'll kick it out.
We have come so close to goals today from both sides.
And now we'll get even closer.
1 minute to go in the first half.
Second corner on the way for Case, their first of quarter 2. And as Tyler said, under a minute, so this will probably be one of the last chances for either squad to get on the board before we take our halftime break. Carvara on the insert. Going to Bouchard. Bouchard for Richardson. Firing backside. Just wide.
That was about 5 inches to the right. That would have just gotten in around that crossbar.
Looked like Richardson was looking for a tip at the back door, but nobody able to get a stick on it before it went past the end line. 15 seconds left. Last-ditch efforts here for both the Whalers and Cardinals. Clock still ticking. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And half number 1 comes to an end with neither side able to get on the board as the 6, 8, and 2 Cardinals do battle with the 3, 10, and 3 Raiders. New Bedford won the corner battle with 3 in the first half, with Case only having 2, but no goals on the board for either side. And Tyler, any thoughts before we take our halftime pause?
I think next goal is going to win in the second half. Both teams have come so close. I just really thought that some of those were going to go right in, and they had these looks, but that defense for both teams just holds firm, and I'm curious if that'll continue here in the second half or not.
Second half will come your way in just a few minutes, but for now, Tyler Clark and I step aside here on Swansea Community Network. Second half about to get underway here on Swansea Community Network on a momentous day, as Tyler said, for two reasons. Our first ever live broadcast of Case Field Hockey, as well as Senior Day. And now we will switch sides, so the Whalers will move from left to right across your screen, and the Case Cardinals will move from right to left. And Tyler, in that first half, no goals on the board for either side, but the Whalers beating the Cardinals 3-2 in the corner category, with no success for either squad in that area.
All I can say is the best way I can summarize the first half, I would say, is even. It's been a very evenly played game. Nobody scored. Both teams have had almost equal amount of looks. Maybe the Whalers have a leg up on the corners, but I would say the Cardinals probably have more shots on goal. If I had to guess, we don't really keep track of those stats here, but it's really anybody's game. This is a very tight matchup, and I'd love to see how this ends up playing out at the end, if anyone can even get one in the net. But I would say that if this game exceeds a 2-1 final score, I'd be very surprised.
I've been unofficially tracking shots. I'd say it's about 3-2 in favor of Case right now in terms of official shots on goal. Both goalkeepers, and Kaisley Nell for the Cardinals and Trinity Rosanina for the Whalers, have been tested, but they've stood tall.
And you would consider a shot on goal as something that the goalkeeper had to defend from going in?
Correct.
Okay, that's fair.
Usually kickouts, at least from my experience, don't count as a shot on goal unless it was directly towards the net, and a lot of times goalkeepers will just step out to kick things out when they see that it might set up a potential chance for a shot. So we saw that with Rosanina earlier, but she might be tested here as a corner is on the way for Case. So now the two squads are even in that category, and that is Case's third overall, first of the third quarter. Cardinals had to defend two corners from the Whalers in quarter two, and did a solid job of doing that. If I remember correctly, I don't think the Whalers have any shots off of corners today.
I don't think so. I think you're right about that stat. I have to say, too, not that you'd be able to tell this from watching, but the sun went away and the temperature has pretty significantly dropped off here in the last, 10, 15 minutes. It's getting cold now, actually.
This is what I was saying, I believe, in pregame. The sun definitely helping with that 58-degree temperature that we saw at first strike, and it is indeed cold. This is why I put the sweatshirt on. I was wearing a T-shirt today at work, T-shirt Friday at my school for the teachers, and I said to myself, at some point it's going to be really cold and I'm going to wish I had a sweatshirt on. So I just was proactive about it and put one on, and I'm glad you and I both have one. Yeah. You have a nice Swansea Community Network sweatshirt, though, which I need to get myself one of those as well. I'll have to talk to our head man, Adam Kitchen, about that.
Sure do. Thanks, Adam. I was going to wear the shirt, too, but I didn't think it really mattered because I'd had the sweatshirt on the whole time. But, yeah, that was given to us last year, so
I'll never turn down an opportunity to get some network swag, for sure.
That's really nice. So I've been part of Swansea Community Network for a very, very long time. 2008, I started Swansea Cable Access, and here I am. I can never escape, apparently. I started filming games a long time ago, and then 2013 I switched to broadcasting, but not really so many field hockey matchups. That was more of a last few years.
Well, Tyler, I hope to have a long career here at Swansea Community Network, much like you have. And
you do a great job calling these games. I mean, I did it with Kerry, but I fully admitted straight up, I'm like, I've never done field hockey beyond Case High School. That's the limit of what I have done for the broadcasting of field hockey. You have a lot more experience, and it definitely shows, especially at the collegiate level. We might, I don't know if they're going to end up hosting a tournament game. They might host a tournament game. They'll probably make the tournament with their record. I don't know if they might have like a mid-round game. We've done, a couple years ago, we did do a home playoff game for the postseason tournament. Last year they made it, but they were on the road, and they lost immediately, so we didn't get to see that. And it looks like New Bedford will take that.
Cardinals looking to grab their 7th win in this one today, while the Whalers look to grab their 4th. Case came in with a 6-8-2 mark. The Whalers in at 3 10-3 coming into this one. Got to shout out Coach Resendiz for getting me the record on that one, as well as Coach Allison for the Whalers. I had to track them down just before the start of this one to get that. I really need to make sure I hold on to my spot sheet because it keeps blowing away in the wind here. Big thank you to Dan Snyder there for getting me some duct tape here.
Yeah, when the wind picks up, you can always tell we're not exactly in a press box or anything like that.
This whistle will help out the Whalers. With under 10 minutes to play in quarter 3, we are still scoreless in a game that definitely has posed opportunities for both squads to score, but
they both, I've been over this before, they both had great looks, but they just can't get it in. The defense just clams up right at the end, and that's why we're still 0-0 here, as we're actually getting close to halfway through the third quarter now.
Sun trying to peek its way through the clouds overhead and provide us with a little bit more warmth, as it's definitely starting to feel a bit more like fall here in Swansea today.
The wind picking up again. Now the sun is back out. It's like it's like dark and it's also sunny at the same time.
Nice steal in the midfield there for Duquette. Duquette looking to advance toward the circle. A whistle will go against her there. Restart for Peyton Souza. Souza looking to send it far side. Multiple players on the chase. Looks like it went out of bounds, and it will be Case possession.
Yeah, well, she will be.
Mara Richardson to send it back in for Duquette. Duquette sending a bouncing ball towards the outskirts of the circle. Cardinals able to get it in there, but quickly done away with. Abigail Splisser got it back out. Cardinals get it back in, and the Whalers just will not allow Case to set up here in this third quarter.
Defense, it's just we've been spending a lot of time on the left side of the field here in this half, and I mean, Bedford defense right there every time is just not giving Case much of anything to go with offensively.
And if you're just joining us, you would think with a D1 school versus what we believe is a D4 school in Case that this would be a much different score outcome. But right now with this 0-0 tally, these two teams playing about as evenly as you could possibly be.
It's one of the most even games I remember seeing here in quite some time, honestly. Really, either team could take this. If either team takes it, I mean, they have ties for a reason there in field hockey.
On the move for the Whalers is Lana Jones. Emma Plant in there to stop her advance. Plant up ahead for Bouchard. Bouchard run into by Jackie Bank, but the Cardinals continue to move, fed into the circle. Only one in the area was Carrero, and the Whalers never let it get to Iris. Plant another stop on the back line. She'll look to make an advance. Plant back into the circle in the direction of Riley Doherty, but the Whalers do away with that. This whistle will help Case in their continued pursuit to grab the icebreaker in this one.
It's like Porras got tripped up on that one. That was what that whistle was for. And another whistle. I'm not sure who that was on. I'll give it to Richardson, though.
Bouncing ball heading towards the circle. Trying to grab it is Doherty. She will. Doherty, the feed off the foot of a Whaler defender. And the fourth Case corner of the game. That is their second of quarter 3. And worth noting, New Bedford has yet to have a corner in this third quarter.
We've barely even been down the right side of the field in this corner.
Yeah, Kaisley Nell has been lonely here in quarter 3.
Oh,
Richardson
good
firing
shot.
on a nice stop for Rosanina. Richardson will try again. Back-to-back corners for the Cardinals. Make it 3 for them in the quarter.
That was a heck of a save there. That was a shot in from Richardson, too.
A big test there for Trinity Rosanina, and she was up to the task. Carvara, the insert to Duquette, just outside the circle. Duquette couldn't get past Bellin. Back into the circle. Oh. That one just wide.
That wouldn't have counted anyway unless it was deflected as it got closer, but that was a rocket shot, man.
This one sent over in our direction out of bounds. As New Bedford looks to slow down what has been an uptick in pressure from Case over the last few minutes.
That is indeed Abby Sprisler's father. He just replied to you on the live chat.
Yeah, yes I am proudly. Well, I'm glad you're proud, Pops. Definitely a great effort from Splisser thus far. Another kick out here.
Oh my
Case looking
goodness.
for that first tally. New Bedford doing everything they can as Rosanina will kick it out again. Make it another corner for the Cardinals.
Oh man, JJ, this is so tantalizingly close to going in for Case. I can't believe they just can't. It's just, they're so close.
It isn't easy, Tyler, playing on this surface, uneven field in a lot of places, on natural grass too, which you don't see a lot in field hockey, and both teams are struggling in their own ways. Bouchard into the circle, Carrero trying to dig it out. She was surrounded by white jerseys. Back toward the circle, Bouchard digging for it. Emma looking to turn around, she will. Bouchard being protective into the middle. Carrero took a whiff at it. She couldn't get the stick on it. And the Whalers will take over with possession. Only a few minutes left here in the third quarter as the clock continues to tick down, and still, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but still no score.
Goose egg, 0-0. Very highly defensive game, obviously. Always get the ball over midfield here. This quarter has been all Case, just all on the left side down here. Case Nell's been very lonely, as you said, for the Case defense. Avery Plant's been pretty lonely back there too.
But Plant has made the plays when she needs to. 2.5 to go before we head to the fourth and final quarter here at Joseph Case High School. Case Cardinals have been knocking on the door.
I will say it's scoreless, but it's been a very entertaining game to watch. It's been very competitive. I've enjoyed being here as part of it. Because some, low-scoring games are just kind of meh, and I find. But I've still been entertained by what I'm seeing, and it's very competitive.
Cookson trying to get it away from Jackson. She will, but stepping in once again, Peyton Souza, so consistent on the defensive end today for the Whalers. Souza will send that one out of bounds to once again stall the Case attack. Emma Plant waving hi to our camera. And hello back to you, Emma. Plant to send it forward. Couldn't get it to Cookson as it hopped over her stick.
Summarizes Emma Plant pretty well right there. I don't know if people saw that live.
That has to be a legendary close-up for our first ever live broadcast of field hockey here on Swansea Community Network. Once again, so glad you could join Tyler Clark and I.
I don't think anyone's ever done that before, at least not I remember. Not
kind of breaking the fourth wall in a sense.
Pretty much. Usually you don't acknowledge that we're here, you don't acknowledge. We used to, when we filmed basketball, we didn't have, before we had the studio, when we were doing basketball games, we had to film in the stands. I had a coach complain about me once that I was too loud, and we were interrupting like what his coaching going on down there. That's about the closest I've had to people breaking the fourth wall. Usually you just don't acknowledge the camera, you don't acknowledge the announcers, you just go out there and you do your thing.
A lot of scoring chances in this quarter for Case, and a recent potential scoring chance for Jackie Bank that was shut down by the back line for Case, and now the Whalers looking to work in their offensive half. Sent toward the circle. Plant's there to grab it. Plant is going to have to battle her way out. Whalers not done.
Bedford, this is their first decent look at the net here in the period, and the period's over.
Quarter 3 coming to an end, and it looks like the end of the quarter will bring us the first corner of the second half for the Whalers. That is their 4th overall as they try to get back even with Case, who has now jumped into a lead in the corner category. They have 6 total to the Whalers' 4.
Well, we're out of time in the period.
So it's pretty much one chance, and then we head to quarter 4.
That's pretty much it. It's an untimed corner.
This one goes into Piper Reese. Reese into the middle. Souza looking to stick handle. Case looking like they'll have it shut down. And they will.
Did, yep, and they'll end it there.
Quarter 3 coming to an end. We are still without a goal in this one as the tension continues to build between the Cardinals and Whalers. And Tyler, I think you might end up being right. I think this is going to end in a 1-0 game, and the question really does come down to who's going to score it.
If someone scores it, I mean, we could see this continue. It could be a 0-0 tie at the end. I mean, both teams have had opportunities. New Bedford finally cracking it with at the gun here at the end of the quarter with their first, good look here, but. They just all defense is really what the name of this is. And this was a Case offense that was out of the start of the season hot. 10 goals, 9 goals, I think, right away against some really strong teams, and kind of seeing it slow down here. Game I think you did against West Bridgewater, was that a 2-1 final score, I believe?
I believe it was 3-1 if I remember correctly,
okay.
But then again, my memory, because of the amount of students I have to teach every day and grade stuff for, and then the amount of broadcasts that I do on any given week, my memory is kind of shot these days.
I don't know if I've asked what you teach.
So I've done a little bit of everything. I've taught math 2 out of the 3 years that I've been in New Bedford. I'm doing math again this year, but in the middle I did history last year.
Okay.
History is what I got my undergraduate degree in, so. But honestly, I always say it, and anybody who knows me well will tell you the same thing. I'll teach anything. I'll teach basket weaving if you need me to, as long as
team player.
I get to teach. My number one thing has always been to make an impact on the younger generation and help mold.
Well, I couldn't teach calculus. I couldn't teach advanced math. No shot. Physics, probably not.
That's a complex subject.
Oh yeah.
15 minutes are back up on the clock. These will be the last 15 of this contest, as now the clouds have really started to take over here. It looks like we might have some raindrops after we get out of here. Knock on wood that it's not while we're here.
Oh, it's happened while we've been here before. It's state championship this past year. It was just Brady and I up at Worcester State, and it was so wet and cold and miserable. And when you have expensive equipment around, it is not a good time for that. So, and I've been here
you guys
before.
Had a tent for that one.
Nope.
Oh, geez.
Nope. We did not.
Oh, wow.
We were like bleachers, 2-foot window fence, and we were pressed up against the fence because we had nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
In Amherst, we were covered, but it was a beautiful, bright, beaming sunny day, so that was a little different. It was Father's Day, actually, the game in Amherst that we did, and then this past one was the day before Father's Day in Worcester State. And I've been here before. I'd mentioned this in an earlier broadcast. The late, great Paul Summers was the announcer when I filmed the game, and something happened with the equipment that it was whatever, the audio didn't work for the game. I think it was going through the boom mic, and it didn't pick up everything, and there were flurries. That's how cold it was outside for the game. It was 30 degrees. It was so cold, and we sat here and we froze, and we had unusable footage in the end because of the audio issue. So I've been through much worse. It was like an October snowstorm or something that kind of came through. So this is nothing by comparison. Now that the sun's back out, it's actually pretty nice.
Indeed it is, and I do actually have a good rain game story for you, because when I was calling field hockey for Endicott, we had a game where we had to actually bring a tent out. We had a full tent with a tarp over it, too, and it was pretty much monsoon winds that day because Endicott right by the water.
Yeah.
So the wind was blowing. The tarp kept coming off the top of the tent. We were getting raindrops coming in at us every once in a while. And, I always, found those games to be fun, though, because you had to kind of brave the elements with the players, which kind of adds to the authenticity of doing it as a broadcaster.
You're all in it together. This is the fun stuff that people that aren't in media or broadcasting are like, I have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. It's usually complete chaos when you're not seeing the camera rolling for stuff like that you just can't predict. We had some issues with that here at the audio equipment. I mean, it's nature of the beast. It happens. It all comes out fine in the end anyway.
As long as it all works out, that's what matters.
Adam Kitchen does a phenomenal job. We can also welcome in Dan Snyder now, too, for Swansea Community Network, as we found out before.
Yeah, an excellent addition to the team, no less. Jackie Bank looking to move across half field. She's still moving, puts it off the foot of Plant there. Bank will look to keep going. Bank met by Plant again. Tried to send it forward. Piper Reese to help out Jackie Bank, and now it's Lana Jones. Jones unable to get past the back line of the Cardinals. Scoring in this one about as rare as the dodo bird. This one into the circle.
It hasn't been any. I really thought we would have seen something peeked into the net by now, but Bedford has a good chance here, though, as I'm talking about that. Really good look.
Lana Jones looking to move forward. Once again, it's Emma Plant making the stop defensively. Plant puts it, however, right on the stick of Jackie Bank. Bank with Jones in to help her. A whistle will favor the Whalers as they look to gain the circle. Audrey Souza with Carvara glued to her. Izzy able to shove it back in the other direction, but Audrey Souza continuing to try and move forward for New Bedford. Souza keeps it in on this near sideline. Looking to feed it middle. Jones trying to take a swipe at it in the circle, trying again, now with the kick out.
Oh, man.
And another chance will provide.
It's like a corner coming up.
A corner indeed. Now 5 overall on this one for the Whalers, their first of the fourth. And perhaps now New Bedford will seek the first tally.
Going in terms of momentum, right now it's like this quarter's all been all Whalers so far down on this end of the field.
A great defensive effort there by Mara Richardson as the insert never fully got to Peyton Souza at the top of the circle because Richardson speeded over and knocked it away. Souza looking near side, able to connect with Piper Reese. Reese in the circle, met by Carvara. And the script has been flipped again. Now New Bedford with consistent pressure. That one pushed toward the back door. Another near scare for Nell that is dodged.
I thought that was going to be a cross feed in there for an easy net, but nope. It's weird, JJ, this game, how it's just been, the momentum is always just come in bunches. Like, oh, that was off. That one hurt.
Yeah, going off of Lana Jones there. Let's hope she's okay. Seems like she is.
Like off her shoulder, I think. That's going to be an unsafe hit. And that looks like they're going to be bringing the trainer out.
Yeah, just to check on Jones. She seems like she's okay, but you can never be too safe, especially when the ball hits up high like that.
I think it was off. It looked like it was off the shoulder, not the face.
Yeah, that would be my assumption as well, based on where she was kind of.
Yeah, so all is well, and
off.
We continue here.
Clock running again as we're about to go under 10 minutes to play. Whalers now knocking on the door after Case has been doing a lot of that over the past few quarters. Emma Cookson has it taken from her by Piper Reese. And now Reese on the move toward the circle. Avery Plant will do away with that chance. But the Whalers still moving forward. Jackie Bank looked to feed the middle of the circle. Cardinals will get that out. New Bedford's back line trying to help out their front line here. Mariah Jackson into the circle. Backside, tracking it down is Tesla DaCosta. That one off a foot. And Case ball. As we're into the single digits remaining in this one. 9 minutes and 10 seconds and counting. Next goal will most likely be the winner. If at all.
If at all, that's the key thing.
Both these teams locked in a grudge match today here on the campus of Joseph Case High School. This one off the foot of Maddie Duquette as she tried to break it out of the circle and make it 2 corners now in this fourth quarter for the Whalers, and they are now getting even closer, now even with the Cardinals in terms of total corners with 6.
It's said before, it's an even game. Both teams have had pretty good looks. And
another insert for Jackie Bank. She'll go in for Piper Reese. Reese outside the circle looking to send it back in. Her number partner will shut it down, Maddie Duquette.
Reese didn't really control that corner too well when it came into her. It was kind of weakly off of her stick. That didn't go anywhere. Case will shed the gear again. I love that term, number partner.
Yeah, I try to use it as much as I can.
It's a good term. It's very, related to if it's only applicable if they both have the same number.
Most certainly. This whistle to favor Case. Both teams running out of time to find a way to give themselves the advantage.
Shot from Duquette.
Yeah, a hard slap sending it all the way down into the near corner on Case's offensive end, but it will go out of bounds. Bringing it back in is Peyton Souza. Emma Cookson will take it from her.
Duquette is good for that. Those long hits. It's going to go to the...
Leave it down here, girls.
7 minutes remaining. Both teams have had their fair share of chances, but neither has been able to cash in. Both Casey Martell and Coach Resendiz for New Bedford have to be proud of the defensive and goalkeeping efforts of their respective squads. Another send up this near sideline, looking like it will stay in bounds for Mariah Jackson to grab. Jackson has her pocket picked by Emma Cookson. Cookson's had a couple of those instances in this one, but she'll be stalled by Peyton Souza. Souza met by Emma Bouchard. Now Bouchard on the move, looking to get towards the middle and gain circle. Bouchard on the outskirts. Whistle in her favor. Richardson will step in on the restart. Mara trying to weave, sends it into the circle. Janaea Porras is there along with Bouchard and others, and looks like it went off a foot or the wrong side of the stick somewhere in that fray.
The official made the gesture, but I didn't see what it was for. Under 6 minutes to go.
Time not on either team's side. A bobbling ball.
Oh, good look here.
Trying to grab it. Emma Cookson stalled by Mariah Jackson.
Oh, man.
Great defensive positioning by number 34 in white to prevent that chance.
It was so close again.
Another favorable Case whistle. Richardson, far side, trying to send a bobbling ball into the middle. Porras to track it down. Janaea will draw Case corner, their first of the fourth, and a big opportunity with time trickling down for Case now to get on the board.
Yeah, just over 5 minutes to go. Still waiting on that
Case
first
back
goal
in
of the
lead
game.
in
Yeah.
the corner category with 7 to New Bedford 6. Insert to Richardson, goes over her stick, Plant
right
to
over.
back it up. Emma Plant back into the circle. Cookson for Porras.
Oh, the goalie's on the ground. Just full.
So many chances, but no goals.
Rosanina was full extension for that, too.
Gotta love the effort from Trinity there. Jackie Bank, with multiple Cardinals around her, will find Lana Jones. Jones, pass Duquette, looking to feed it middle. Bank looking to track it down. Avery Plant stepping in. Bank will watch her team get another corner. 3 now in the fourth for New Bedford, and we're back even in the corner statistic.
4 minutes. Moving clock.
So little time, but so many opportunities.
Yeah, so many opportunities. Just coming up short. It's so tantalizingly close.
We couldn't have asked for a more entertaining game here on Senior Day and for our first live broadcast.
No scoring, but I've been thoroughly entertained, as I've said. But a great game.
Pressure.
Oh!
That one's in. Yuritsa Bellin looking like the one who put it past Casely now. And it is 1-0 Whalers with under 4 minutes to play.
Boy, what a momentum shift there. It was number 22 for the Whalers. That's Bellin. And a timeout called, it looks like, by Casey Martell.
A timeout indeed. 3 minutes, 33 seconds left. Tyler Clark and I will take it with these two squads. We'll be right back here on Swansea Community Network. Out of the timeout, 3 minutes, 33 seconds left, and the New Bedford Whalers coming in at a 3-10-3 record are on the board for the ice-breaking tally, and it's number 22, Yuritsa Bellin, who got it, and now Case seeks a quick response as they're running out of time.
They need a quick response. Well, JJ, we finally got our momentum change, but it wasn't biasly what I was hoping for as a Cardinal fan there, but that was Bedford took advantage. That was directly off the corner. They got their corner. They got it. That's what you were supposed to do with that corner. And they got their 1-0 lead now.
In the circle. And now we have a corner coming for the Cardinals. Their second of the fourth.
Guessing this is what Coach Martell may have been drawing up for her players there.
8th corner overall for Case, and this one could not be more crucial. Carvara in for Bouchard, looking to feed Richardson in the middle. Couldn't get it there, but make it 2 corners in a row and 3 overall for Case in the fourth. They are not done with 2.5 to play. so entertaining for all these fans in attendance today.
It's been a great game.
Bouchard feeding Richardson again. It goes over a stick to Cookson. Emma Cookson back into the middle. Richardson met by a kick out from Rosanina. And this whistle will favor New Bedford. Rosanina with a sigh of relief there after that call.
Rosanina's the MVP for the Whalers in this game. She's had some great saves in there. Kickouts when the time was right.
I'd say at least 5+ saves for Rosanina
definitely.
in this one.
She's less than 2 minutes from a shutout now.
And this has been a game, Tyler, where Case has definitely had way more scoring chances than New Bedford.
They definitely have. It's just...
It comes down to who cashes in.
Yeah, and the New Bedford got their corner, and they got it in the net, and that's what they need to do. And going the other way, yep.
Less than 90 seconds. New Bedford looking to hold on to their 1-goal advantage and grab their 4th win of the 2025 campaign. And perhaps even the Whalers can add a little cherry on top with a 2nd goal as we're about to go under a minute to play.
Yeah, it's kind of spoiling senior day here for Case too, but you come to play the game and you come to win, and that's what they've done. Case needs to get this out of here as soon as they will here. They have 50 seconds. You get Duquette with her. There we go. Oh, good play by the Whalers to stop that.
Yeah, Mariah Jackson stepping in to stop that send forward by Duquette. Richardson now trying to come out of a pile. Whistle will favor Case. Half a minute to play. That one picked off.
30 seconds.
Piper Reese got in there. Reese still digging against Carvara. Reese gets it back. Trying to feed Bank. Bank has it. Moving forward with 20. Bank playing clock killer here in the near corner.
Just the wrong side of the field for it to be on, unfortunately.
Emma Plant with 10 seconds. Trying to feed it up. Porras.
And it's a whistle, but it's not going to matter.
Clock's ticking 3, 2, and 1, and triple zeros on the board. And the New Bedford Whalers come in and spoil the Case Cardinals senior day. Final score 1-0. Case will drop to 6-9-2, and New Bedford will go to 4-10-3 on the season. The only goal scored in this one was by Yuritsa Bellin for the Whalers, but Case winning in the corner category by a final tally of 9-7 over the Whalers, and that 7th one for New Bedford was really the one that they needed as they got the goal. And despite the loss, you have to love the effort by Casey Martell's squad, Tyler, against a Division I school.
Yeah, it was great effort. I just can't believe they couldn't get that ball in the net. So many chances, but give credit to Rosanina over there in that goal for the Whalers. She was really the MVP of the game. And that sealed it 1-0 the final. Only took one, and that's what New Bedford has to hang their head high with right now.
And that will do it for us today here on Swansea Community Network. For my partner, Tyler Clark, our cameraman, Dan Snyder, and our head man over in the truck in Adam Kitchen, I am JJ Sylvia. Thanking you so much for joining us here on this first live broadcast of Joseph Case Field Hockey. Have a good rest of your Friday night.